Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tibby Time. I'm here with a great artist. You know him as Vale-City, and my first question for you is, where does your name come from?
Well, actually, when I first started my account, I going on time that I really wanted to post like at the very beginning. Unfortunately, I never got around to it, but essentially, it took place where there was in the city, and there are also another section of people. So I kind of do a combo which came out as Vale City. I know it's not the most imaginative names, but that's all I could come up with at the time.
Well, it certainly has stuck around. My next question for you is, you draw very many characters in many different forms and different degrees of thickness. What is your favorite character to draw? Do you have one? If so, why?
Um, well, personally, I don't really have a favorite. I mean, I like doing a lot of fan art because that's my usually go-to whenever I can't think of anything. There's this one character I've been kind of going into recently. I can't decide if her name is either Mia or Tia. Basically, she's a minotaur that works as a farmhand and trying to save up for like a special trip to Hawaii kind of thing. And it's a lot of different shenanigans going through that. And I'm really hoping to dive into that a bit more.
Speaking of like your different kinds of drawings and stuff like that, I noticed you also make comics. Do you enjoy making comics or singular drawings more?
Well, I really like how comics turn out at the end. I mean, well, they take a lot more effort to actually do, which kind of like deters me from actually doing them altogether. I want to do more featured, but pictures usually come out first because it starts out as a picture, and then I start to like go from there. I'm kind of giving this character a personality. I have a I have an entire notebook filled with like different characters and how I want to implant them into different comics and stuff like that, whether there be not safe for work or safe for work content.
You seem to make like different, like interesting, varying degrees of artwork. Oh, but in specific, what was it like, like being the lead artist for a game?
Well, honestly, I was very humbled and a little nervous at the time because this was a very big project, and I believe most of the credit goes to the person who came forward with this idea. Shoot, I can't think of their name like offhand. I know it starts with an N, but yeah, I they did like most of the work, all the programming, all the writing. Very fun. I mean, a lot of creativity and a lot of freedom as well. And I thought it was very fun to work on.
Well, since you made such a resume for yourself, do you have like a favorite drawing or like comic that you did? What was your favorite piece that you did? If so, why?
Um, well, I think my favorite piece would be there's this one mini fan art comic that I did for a very talented artist named Dr. Worm. Um, and it was about his or her, I'm not exactly sure what gender, but their character, a big red dragon named Smoggy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've always wanted to draw that character, and I decided to make a little short comic out of it and maybe add a little comedy to it. I had a lot of fun with that one.
My next question for you is a little bit more on like the side of the viewers. other than the people probably that support you that are probably watching, uh, for those who maybe want to support you, what does your Patreon offer?
Well, what I offer on my Patreon, it's a lot of, it's mostly like you get to see everything like before everyone else. And also, I do a monthly polls where once a month I give a theme, and then five tier donators, they they can come forward and make a suggestion for the theme that I give out for each month, and then at the end of the month, everyone votes for it. And I post a lot of not safe for work content on there, and there's also exclusive doodles that I like to do.
Well, earlier you mentioned Dr. Worm. Like, are they or any others? Like, who are your art inspirations?
Oh, that's a big long list right there. But well, just to name a couple, well, Dr. Worm for one, a very very talented artist, and another one I'd have to say I'm pretty sure you've heard of them, but they go by Jolly Jack,
Yeah.
and well, what I love about their work is just the sheer creativity of all of it. I mean, I love all their comics that come out. They do a web comic called sequential art, and it's a web comic that's focused around his main characters, and I just love it so much. I can't wait if they're gonna post the next book. I have like a lot of their work in my collection. They also did a comic called Bad Nero, very short, but it's one of my favorite comics that I own.
Well, you certainly are a man of caliber yourself. Would, like, if you could collab with any of those artists that you've mentioned, who would it be, and what would you guys like make or produce?
Uh, well, let's see. I would very much like to work with Dr. Worm sometime. And I don't know. I mean, this is probably a long shot, but I really would like to collab on a comic with Jolly Jack. And well, I also like an artist named Slugbox. I really, really love their coloring and all their work. It's so amazing on the work that they do.
Yeah, there are certainly many fans of Slugbox, but also of all not safe for work artists, especially the ones who draw thicker characters, I always ask a very important question: where did you get a sickness for the thickness?
Hoo hoo. Uh, I don't know. I've been drawing this ever since I could remember. I mean, most of it in secret, of course, but I want to say maybe sometime in high school. That was a really long, long time ago, and I can't exactly pinpoint when, but I don't know. It's just one day I decided to start drawing it, and I liked it more than I thought I would.
Well, you already kind of briefly touched on this, but uh, when did you start drawing? Like, why did you start drawing too? Did you just have an interest in it to begin with?
Oh yeah, I've always had interest in like drawing ever since I can remember. Um, yeah, I don't remember how old I was, but I had a sketchbook that I was given to my parents, and on the first night, I just filled the entire thing with drawings. Like back then, I was really, really into like robots and machinery and stuff like that. I no longer have the book. I have no idea where it went. It was so long ago. But yeah, I was a real like sci-fi fan, and then as the years went by, I went to fantasy. I became like a real fan of dragons and stuff like that, which inevitably led to one of my main characters that I started posting like on my site when I first started, named Susan. And actually, I've been sort of planning a comic around like those characters that I haven't touched in years, but I haven't stopped thinking about them. And I really want to make something big with them. I guess I kind of got off topic there. I'm sorry.
No, that's fine. That actually answered one of my questions of what were you gonna do with all of your old OCs, but I noticed that like you've been on Twitter for like a while, but it's for some other people it's like more like a little bit relatively new. But you also have been on DeviantArt for quite a while and like on your website. But of all of those like sites, which one do you prefer more and why?
Um, that's a interesting question. I mean, I like DeviantArt because I've been on there longer, but ever since they made the change, I had to get used to it a little bit. But it's not bad. I mean, once you're used to it, you just continue on as. But it's kind of hard to choose. I mean, I like the stuff that's posted on Twitter. You get like more not safe for work content, and I really like working or looking at everyone else's stuff. I mean, I just really love art, and I really don't like limitations. So I just kind of go around as much as I can to see all of everyone's different ideas.
Well, you certainly have studied different artworks and such, and definitely anatomy, it would seem. What is your favorite part of the body to draw and why?
Well, contrary to what I usually do, which mostly focuses on the body, but my favorite part I'd have to say is the face. Because whenever I look at a different piece of work, the first thing I look at is the facial expressions because you can tell so much on what a person's thinking or feeling when just looking at the facial expressions. Like, I think that's the most important part in, well, any sort of or comic or whatever you're doing. I think if you get that down, then everything else would follow suit. I mean, still a lot of work to do everything else. I mean, I, for the love of me, I can't draw hands still, and I've been drawing for years. But yeah, I have to go with the face.
I noticed a lot of artists are like expanding their just I guess I wouldn't say brand, but like expanding their let's say horizons. I noticed a lot of them are streaming. I was gonna ask you the same. Do you plan on like streaming anytime soon?
I have thought about it. I did try it a couple of times, but my internet right now isn't very good, and I don't think I'd get much out of it if I tried. If I probably had like a better like internet service, then I probably would get more input. And also, I it's a little nerve wracking as well because I've never really tried that sort of thing like officially.
My next question is for any beginning like artists that like look up to you or anything like that, do you have any advice for them?
Um, Actually, yes. If you're starting out and if you want to like your career, advice do what you want. Well, stuff that you enjoy. Don't worry about if people like it or if they don't like it. If you enjoy, then other people will recognize it and follow you for your work that you thoroughly enjoy doing. It makes it less of a job, makes it uh, of a fun hobby. I can say it different. I mean, I had to learn that the hard way, but yeah, I guess that's the advice I can give out.
My next question for you is Do you have like an ultimate goal with your art, like a vision where you want it to go, or are you kind of just going with the flow?
Well, right now I'm just kind of going with the flow, but like I mentioned a little earlier, absolutely love to start my own web comics with my old characters. I mean, this I never stopped thinking about them, and I really want to bring them out into the light again. Be like, and I want to try some certain characters, and I want to give them more personality and stuff like that. But I still maybe get something published.
My next question is with your webcomic, or are you like planning on doing that soon, or like do you care to share any like plot details towards it or anything like that, like any ideas?
Uh, well, I don't really have anything concrete right now, but I kind of want to make it like a sort of a comedy slash drama sort of thing, like more like a world building experience sort of thing. Like it's not going to be like heavy story induced where it's like a full on graphic novel. I want to do like a web comic panels and stuff like that. I mean, for the time being. I mean, it probably won't be out for a while. I'm still sort of working out the details, but that's all I have right now.
My next question is, what are you working on like currently?
Well, I got a lot of new projects. A lot of them I keep secret. I haven't worked out all the details on. I got a full 5-page comics I want to get out. Let's see. I really want to do like an interactive story where like it'll be mostly focused on my Patreon for where the people will actually vote on what will happen next in the story. Like after maybe a couple pages or so, get to the point where there will be at least 3 options on what they would want happen.
And then my final question for you is there anything you want your fans to know about you specifically?
Um. Hmm. Well, the only thing that I would want everybody to know is just I just want to thank everybody for supporting me all of these years. I mean, I wouldn't have gotten this far without their help. I mean, I'm just very humbled of everyone's support, of their kindness, of their generosity, and I want to make sure that I do right by them. Make sure that to let everybody know how thankful I am of them.
Well, thank you very much for being on the show. You are certainly a man of kindness and a person who definitely cares about his fans, and definitely a person who draws the thickness like no one else.
No. Hey.
Well,
Bro.
Well, you heard it here, folks. If you're looking for thickness and maybe even an interactive webcomic or something along the lines of that, and you like thighs and you like the titty, well, I have the place for you. It's at Vale-City on Twitter or Patreon/Vale-City. Thank you, everyone, and good night.